Hello! Today we got a Orzhov Paragon deck. This deck is got so much value. It's just a grindy mid-range slash early game deck that has a ton of 2-drops. It exploits the power of Extraction Specialist, and it is really based around Serra Paragon. It's a 4 of. There's just so much value in casting Extraction Specialist with Serra Paragon from the graveyard and nabbing another 2-drop that comes in from Extraction Specialist ETB, usually a Spirited Companion to draw a card, or a Selfless Samurai that could sack to protect one of your value creatures, which really are Serra Paragon and Sheoldred. Another interesting interaction is that the Phyrexian Fleshgorger can be cast for 3 for prototype from the graveyard with Serra Paragon, and it's just good, Menace Lifelink Ward. Then lastly, the thing I really love is this Fellstinger. If you have Sheoldred out and they're on 6, you could Fellstinger, have them draw the 2 cards, and then they'll take 2 damage from the Fellstinger draw, and 4 damage from drawing 2 cards from Sheoldred. So it's kind of a nice little thing that comes up sometimes to get a kill out of nowhere. The other thing too, if you don't have any mythics crafted from Brothers War, you don't need these 2 Phyrexian Fleshgorgers. You could cut them. I would go up 1 more Core Sadistic Pilgrim, and either another Wedding Invitation or another Fellstinger. So yeah, hopefully we get some good wins. Alright. It's good enough for me. Maybe a land more than you'd like, but looks pretty good. 2-drop into 3-drop, can't really complain about that. Cut down, it's a good card. Playing against mono black, I'm sure they have graveyard trespassers and some sort of graveyard hate. So it's good to get your graveyard value whenever you can. You want to just go right ahead and get the value from Extraction Specialist if you can, instead of playing the Gorger there. Alright. I think we're in good shape here. It's good that we didn't draw a 3rd land. We'll combat first here, see if we get in for 3. What do you got, opponent? Come on, Arxen. We just gotta find a Serra Paragon now and we'll be laughing. That's pretty nice. I did not expect him to be wanting to trade, but I'll take it. Yeah, that's why he did that. He had a second one. Not a bad top deck. Not the best, but pretty good. Get in for 6 here in lifesteal. The thing with the Fleshgorgers is you're not too worried about a Sheoldred on the battlefield losing 2 per turn if I'm going to lane 3, or in this case 6 per turn. What is your play here, opponent? Yes, you better read Selfless Samurai. That card's text is incredibly relevant. Maybe opponent just wishes he had 1 more land so he could invoke to spare me. It's not the best play. I mean, I just sack the creature that can't attack.
you can deal with my servant.
Okay, so we go like this, okay? The Selfless Samurai is never attacking, unless it's for lethal. Selfless Samurai is here to protect the Serra Paragon. That is its one and only job. Yep. Lose a life. Heal 4. That was a good top deck. Now we Extraction Specialist with Serra Paragon, which brings back the Selfless Samurai for free to protect the Paragon, and we get our Brutal Cathar. And then finally, here comes the scoop. Ah, any second now, here comes the scoop. Alright, opponent wants to battle it out. I'm a little bit surprised. This is the time they usually scoop. I sacrificed the Extraction Specialist that I haven't cast from my graveyard? Yes. Selfless Samurai is too valuable, and now Kor can attack. There's the scoop. Just a little bit later, I guess opponent was thinking maybe he should wait to scoop to see what he gets off Invoke Despair, because he got to draw 2. But yeah, look at that. 3 wins from Diamond. Let's get a couple more. I love having 2 Serra Paragons, but I don't love having any 2-drops. There are, however, 13 2-drops in the deck, so I think I'll keep this, and I'll just hope to draw into it. Also need a second white source, but believe in the deck. Oh man, Mono Red was not a good deck to keep this hand against, but at least we draw a 2-drop. I'm fine with trading here. Just gotta get his pressure, soul around his pressure, stem the bleeding. Now if I block, and then he casts a 1-mana thing, kind of is a blowout. Nope, no point just chumping that. Oh, that's a great draw. I won't attack here. Dealing 3 damage is a lot less important for me than not dying. Yeah, like if I leave him back, or if I don't leave him back there, he plays with fire on the Brutal Cathar, then he gets in for an extra point of damage. Well, as good as the Paragon is, I think a 4/5 is better here. It just has a bigger butt, less likely to get burnt. The Brutal Cathar I don't want to block with, so this creature is okay to attack with. Start gaining some life, hopefully, from Sheoldred. If I gain 2 life, and then he removes it somehow, I'll be pretty happy. I don't love that. Opponent's got no gas at all, no cards in hand. Typically you don't want to block with Brutal Cathar, but If you have Serra Paragon out, it's not so bad. What does this guy do? When he is dealt damage, exile that many cards. Oh yeah, so he'll get 3 cards off the top if I block him. Or I take 3 and go to 4. No, if I go to 4, that's bad. I get burnt out if I go to 4. Well, we've seen 2 lightning strikes already. 1 play with fire, so you know he's got burn. Choose one of them. Alright. Opponent's win con is clear. Cast non-creature spells. And burn me down. My win con is clear. Fly over his crap. Maybe I should have waited to play my tapped land. Good game. It was a close one. I was getting a little nervous at 7 life. 2 more wins. Oh, I missed my recording start on this one, but that's okay. Just played 2 Mardu lands, then duress and hit nothing, so not a bad start for me. I think I draw here. Hopefully we draw a land. That's excellent. Mardu control. This deck is really based on outvaluing, playing Corpse Praiser, getting extreme value out of Kiki-Jiki or the Fable, the Mirror Breaker. Normally, I wouldn't mind blitzing out Tenacious Underdog here and drawing a card versus a typical control deck. But this is not really a typical control deck, in my opinion. Mardu midrange is more midrange than control, even though it feels like a control deck where you have to play against it. But I don't want Tenacious Underdog in my graveyard because Corpse Praiser bad. So we just go wide here. Draws a card off the Bank Buster. Come on, draw your card and take your turn. What else you got? Overthroat. Okay. That's an exile target for Corpse Praiser. Keep the 1/1s back. They're good for sacrifice fodder, jump blockers. The opponent's down to 12. I have a bit of card advantage on him right now. But he is playing some powerful cards in there. And the worst thing that could happen is that he gets a Kiki-Jiki, and he starts copying Blood Tithe Harvester, killing all my stuff every turn. But he's quite a ways away from that. There's the Appraiser, gets rid of an Underdog. It's another problem with this deck is Brutal Cathar and anything. They get ATB value if they come back, and it plays so much removal that they just kill Brutal Cathar and they get a free ETB trigger on one of their awesome creatures. That's an interesting choice. Really wants to get those 1/1s out of there. Now, I think I actually want to Rite of Oblivion the Bank Buster more than anything else. And that's because in this Battle of Attrition, where I have value out of Tenacious Underdog in my graveyard, his value is drawing cards from the Bank Buster. It also matches up well against my Tenacious Underdog, being a 4/4. Alright, give me a land or a Paragon, something good. That's good. I'm fine with lands here. Going up to 7 is good. You could always cast Phyrexian Fleshgorger for 7, but he's got, I assume, a few copies of Make Disappear. So you gotta watch that, of course. There's the Mirror Breaker we've been waiting for. Okay. This isn't the nicest play ever, but I like to Brutal Cathar the token, and then Rite to Oblivion his Sheoldred. I use 7 mana. I get rid of two things permanently. Now, I kind of traded a really good mana efficient play for board state. Opponent has board state now. He didn't discard any cards, which is scary. He might have some good stuff. That's 7 lands. 8. So I go Fleshgorger or Brutal Cathar. Get rid of this Sheoldred. Can't be losing 2 life per turn. Then the Fleshgorger. And then finally my Underdog. Gotta say, pretty scared. Letting opponent untap with Reflections next turn is terrifying with the Corpse Appraiser in play. Kind of expected that. Of course, you sack this here. And now Corpse Appraiser's lethal, so I have to block. I mean, if I was him, I would attack with the Corpse Appraiser, but yeah, that's the play for sure. My only out is that he didn't draw a removal spell, and my 7 mana, or my 7/5 lifelink gets to attack. But look at all the cards in hand, he must have something. Good game. That's fine. I maybe played a little bit wrong with with casting the Tenacious Underdog from the graveyard, but this is a top-end deck, the Mardu Midrange. Still kind of figuring out how to navigate against it. That's fine. We'll get some wins. Alright. Good hand, good hand. Finally a Fell Stinger. I think this card's really underrated. It does good things. Because I have good 3-drops, I don't need to play Spirited Companion right now. I just go Tenacious Underdog. If I had no good 3-drops in my hand, I would play Spirited Companion over Tenacious Underdog to hopefully draw into a good curve. Just another nice little synergy here. Selfless Samurai will give Tenacious Underdog a lifelink if he's attacking it alone, which is so good against mono red, or, well, in this case it's Gruul, but I assume it's just mono red with some fight spells and maybe a green splash creature, based on what we've seen so far. Nice lands, opponent. A lot nicer than mine. I hate how this thing exiles things that die. Double strike. 2/2 double strike, okay. Dealt damage by a source you control would die. Yeah, that's good. So I go to game 3 here. Let's see what he says about that. He says, fine, gain your 3. Kind of want to exploit and draw 2 cards. I lose 2 life, but it gives me a good chance of hitting a land, and then next turn I could double spell. Ah, no land. That's horrible for us. It is horrible for us, but we're not out of it by any means. Target creature put X counters. I hate this card. This is so powerful. I'm surprised I don't see it as much. Yeah, great. Okay, so here's what I do. I do not like the double striker, but then again, I don't want him in the graveyard. No, I can't take 4. I'm not taking any damage from anything. I don't have to. Oh my god. I'm gambling here. I'm gambling that I draw a black source, otherwise I lose, I think. I Spirited Companion, then I Rite of Oblivion and sack the Companion to kill the partners. Or I just go safe, I Extraction Specialist and I grab the Selfless Samurai. That means I'm going to take another 6 in the air, but then I'll have some lifelink. Why am I not drawing any lands? Top 13 cards, 3 lands. Okay, Extraction Specialist. We'll play it safe. We'll assume there's not a land on the top of my deck. Good God. Okay. Probably good game. It just is good game if I don't block the 7/5. If I block there, I go up 3, 2 tramples over. So I'll be at 12. Yeah, it's lethal. So I have to block this. And of course I want to keep my life linker. Not the land we wanted. A beautiful tap land. Good game, opponent. Well, you can't draw lands every game of Magic you play. That's why we love it, that's why we hate it. I just refuse to let this deck go 2-2 and end the video with 2 losses, so trust me, we're gonna get a win right here. 2 lands, probably a little risky to keep after getting so land screwed and not drawing a land for like 6 cards. But what are the odds that it happens twice in a row? Huh. Sultai, but also 4 colors. It's like Esper. Give me a land, come on. Hell yeah. So we've seen 1 removal spell, mostly creatures. Kinda wanna just smash the Sheoldred and hope for the best. And next turn Fellstinger and draw some cards and gain some life. It's a line, it's kind of banking on him not having removal at 4 cards. You could always attack with 3, connive for 3 and get something. Oh, it's a legendary deck. How did I not catch that so far? Everything's legendary. Okay. So I'll gain 2 life for drawing 2 cards here. I want my card draw. I'm going to be playing Wedding Invitation and probably another Selfless Samurai. And I want my card draw. Maybe I should play Selfless Samurai before combat there. Your opponent's gone horribly wide here. Pretty scary. Especially with Raffine. He attacks with all he could connive 7. Sure, in the top 7 he'll find some sort of combo piece or pretty interesting deck opponent's playing. I love it. It's 4 colors, everything but red. Too bad I just can't draw lands. I'd like to go Serra Paragon into Brutal Cathar. No land draws for me. Opponent doing some math right now, seeing if he's got lethal. Typically math is for blockers, but I haven't been doing any math. I've just been staring at my hand thinking, why does this feel so bad? These are great cards. Opponent decides he doesn't have lethal. I agree, opponent. I'm actually in the range here that if I draw a Felstinger, it's lethal. I could make him draw a bunch of cards and die. Okay, so 1 Paragon and 1 Announcement, and then attack with 2, just so that I get 2 card draws and gain 4 life. Put me back up to 19, that should keep me out of lethal range. Down to 6. Does he have lethal? I love all these legendaries. They're good cards that I played in draft and don't see very often, except for, of course, you know, the two you see all the time. No attacks? Wow, we did it. We beat the legendary jank combo deck. I honestly think opponent could win that game if he attacks with all multiple times a few turns before. Just puts the counters on Raffine, which I didn't have an answer to. Grows it huge, then probably could have won 4 or 5 turns ago. But hey, I'll take the win. So that'll be it. Too bad we only went 3-2. The game against the Martyr Control deck was a really unfortunate one. And then of course we had a game where we just didn't draw any lands, but this deck has got a lot of value. I think it didn't perform as well as it could, but yeah, if you got the cards and you don't have to craft too much, check it out. Thanks for watching.